Hey guys, it's Mia, and today I'm here to talk to you about what makes design effective and what makes it not effective. And I'm gonna do that through two different examples, and to find those examples, I just looked around my studio, and within 2 seconds, I found a good example and a bad example. And I was honestly gonna go to TJ Maxx to find some good and bad designed products because they are all over TJ Maxx, and then I realized that I could just look around for 2 seconds and find two examples that I could do for this project. So with that said, it basically means that there is good and bad design everywhere. Everything has to be designed, and just because it has to be designed doesn't mean it'll be good or bad. Sometimes some people don't know what they're doing. So without further ado, let's get to it. So the first thing I'm going to look at as an example for a good example is going to be the Sultry palette. In this palette, there's going to be a mixture of metallics and matte shades. So there is that. And with Sultry, the definition is going to be seductive, attractive, and sensual. So first, let's look at the typography. The font choice is going to be a serif font. They have these really small serifs at the top and the bottoms, while the rest of the typography is more thick right here, as you can see. And normally with a serif font, sometimes it can look old or look more professional, but I think in this sense it makes it look more royal and look more fancy, which I think is what they're trying to go for, since the eyeshadow look said that this is more for smoky eye looks, which is seductive. And that's what I would say this serif font is a good choice, because while it is a serif font, it's a little bit thicker. So I think that implies that it's not this like old font, but it's more just for, it's fancy. It's still a little bit new because it's a little bit thicker. It's and then with these little balls at the end, I think that also kind of makes it a little bit more playful, because it is a makeup palette and it's not like a financial business, in contrast, which is usually financial business would probably have some sort of serif font. So that's what I'm gonna say about that. And then I wanna look into the packaging. So as you can see, it is sparkly, and the color of the packaging of the typography is also like a contrast. It's gonna be that like glitter color, as you can see, and it's like embossed in here a little bit. It's like, I don't know if you can see it, but there's like a little, goes in a little bit. So with that, the Sultry, the typography is gonna be like a gold shimmery color, while the rest is brown. And gold usually signifies like rich and wealth and elegance and money. And I think that's what this palette did a good job of showing with the typography, that this palette is gold, it is luxury, it is sparkly. It is expensive because this palette is like a $50 palette. I think just using the gold typography and the sparkles really makes it so people want to spend $50 on this, and which is perfect because this market is for girls who are into makeup, and usually sparkles are the way to go. And also, so the background is going to be like a brown sparkly, and I think that looks very nice because they could have just chosen like a brown, like a matte brown, and I think that would have made it look muddy and not as fancy and not as sensual, which is what sultry means. So I think they did a really good job with this palette of showing what they are trying to portray within the palette with their packaging, because with the packaging, as you can see right here even too, it's like gold, and like I said earlier, gold signifies riches, and that's exactly what this palette is. So that is the Sultry palette. It's a beautiful example. I love Anastasia's packaging. They do a really good job at showing off what the palette is. So there she be, sparkly. So this is my first bad example. It was actually just given to us outside of our studio as like a little thing to call if we needed a tutor. But the first thing that I wanted to look at was the text and the typography. He used this blocky kind of, I was gonna say Russian constructivism typography looking, which I will put on the screen, and I do not think that's what he was trying to portray, because it kind of just reminds me of communism, because that was the era of Russian constructivism. And yeah, I do not think that rebel tutor, I don't know if he was trying to signify like rebel, like rebellion, and that's why he used this type, but it's confusing to me, and it's probably confusing to you as well. Also, right down here, I don't think this was even necessary, this type, because you can't really see it very well. I can already tell it would have looked a lot better and more clean without that type down there. The next thing I wanted to look at was color. They used red and black, which honestly resembles horror and blood, and these are the colors that would be used in a horror movie poster or flyer, or communism. So that's kind of confusing and kind of goes with the constructivism theme. So that's the issue that I see with the color. I don't think this is the right color choice for a tutor. And then I wanted to look at the logo on the side. First of all, it is huge. The scale is totally wrong. I think he would have done better if he just left this whole thing open and maybe put the logo somewhere else a little bit smaller, so your eyes don't go just straight to this like logo, as opposed to seeing that he's a tutor. And the colors that he used are red and yellow, which, as you guys mostly know, fast food joints have the colors red and yellow because it makes people feel hungry. Those are colors that, in color theory, that make people hungry. So I'm confused why he used those colors, because when you're getting tutored, you're not supposed to be hungry because you're supposed to be paying attention to what you're learning. So that was also confusing to me. He also put this split in the middle. I'm not really sure why. I don't think it adds anything. But yeah, so this is this card. I'm sure you guys find even more things wrong with it. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hey guys, so thank you so much for watching the video. I know you guys had to, but thanks still for watching. Basically, in conclusion to everything I've been saying, good and bad design is everywhere, and just because you have access to Illustrator doesn't mean you should be doing it without some sort of design background / experience. But if you don't, you could learn with a quick Google search what design is. And yeah, basically that is the rest of my video. Thank you guys so much. Have a good day. See y'all soon.